Calaroga Shark Media.
Hello, I'm Johnny Mac with your daily comedy news. Jim Gaffigan told People magazine it was a huge mistake. And no, Jim wasn't talking about his bourbon videos. No, he wasn't talking about that at all. He was joking about living in New York City with his family of 7. Jim says that his 5 children enjoyed growing up in New York, but says New York has changed. And with this, I agree with Jim Gaffigan, who said, it's different because now I'd love to walk a block in New York City and not smell weed. You know what I mean? Jim, I know what you mean. New York City, in the olden times, I couldn't stand the cigarette smoke. I don't smoke, and they would have no smoking in the building laws, and the smokers would stand at the doorway of the building you were trying to enter. I couldn't get to work without being covered in smoke. I'd complain to the building. They didn't give a hoot. You'd walk down the street. Some idiot in front of you would start blowing smoke into the air. You get covered with smoke. So I hated New York City cigarette smoke, but once they decriminalized weed, New York City reeks. But that's not why you're here. Stop ranting. Jim Gaffigan said, when you're in your 20s, you're like, yeah, there should be no rules. And then when you're a parent, you're like, hey, maybe not every block. Of course, I live in the East Village, so I'm kind of asking for it. Neil Brennan was asked if he's nice. He said, yes, but I'm also not that popular. You know what I mean? I'm sure there's people that have some story about me that I'll read the story and go like, that didn't happen, but whatever. I'm approaching it from a view of like, what are you talking about? When did that become the expectation? Meanwhile, everyone's got an iPhone, and Steve Jobs was the biggest piece of crap apparently to work with, so where's the outrage? Neil apparently was accused of being up 24/7 texting comedians like Mike Birbiglia. That was said on Birbig's podcast. Neil said, oh yeah, I heard those naughty people, clean that up a little, say that. Look, they've gotten their final frontline recommendation from me. Won't happen again, fellas. Won't be making that mistake again. I'll keep it for myself, he laughs. Yes, I don't have children, and I like sharing the wealth of media I get to ingest as a single man. Well, I guess I have a girlfriend, but I don't have children. Neil's point is when he finds something funny, he wants to share it. Conan O'Brien was asked by The Hollywood Reporter, between SNL and Late Night, you worked with Lorne Michaels for 23 years. Do you think Lorne is going to retire? Conan said, if you took an x-ray of Lorne Michaels, you would see SNL in his bone marrow. I just don't see it happening. I don't think anyone's anxious for him to go anywhere. When FDR suddenly died in April of 1945, he'd been president for 13 years. There was a whole generation that only knew him. Lorne is the FDR of comedy. Retiring to his blueberry farm? I'm not buying it. Now, my take on this is next year is the 50th anniversary. Nice round number. And Lorne Michaels will be 80. Nice round number. If you're not going to get out then, I don't know. Do you do 52 years and retire at 82? Maybe you get out, take the victory lap, pass the baton to Tina Fey or Seth Meyers, whoever's going to take over this thing. It seems like a great time to get out. New gig for Gabe Iglesias. This starts today. He's the host of WWE Rivals. You'll find this on A&E. Rivals is a roundtable discussion series of World Wrestling Entertainment's greatest rivalries. 8 o'clock tonight. Christina P. spoke to People about her experience with Ozempic, the drug that people are using to lose some weight. She said her doctor raised her dosage, but she accidentally took too much. As she tells the story, the doctor goes, you know what, since you ate right through it last time, I'm going to start you on a higher dose. And I'm like, all right, fair enough, I'm a pig. Christina said the doctor instructed her to start at 10 units, which she said sounds like a lot. I hadn't been on in a minute. I'm going to dial it back to 5 units. She gave herself the injection, joined her friends for dinner, and said, dude, I can't even eat. I feel nauseous. I can't even eat this bread. My mouth is dry. I feel like I'm going to throw up. And in the middle of the night, I did. I was super nauseous. I'm like, this is working this time. I'm down like 3 pounds. Then she was hanging out with a friend of hers who was a nurse. The nurse was like, how much did you take? Christina says 5 units. And the nurse looks at it and goes, Christina, you took 50 units. That's enough for a 500-pound man. Christina's reaction? Well, it worked. Iliza Shlesinger is taping her first comedy special for Amazon Prime Video. It won't be taped until November, and the premiere date will be scheduled after that. Shlesinger will also kick off a tour called the Get Ready Tour in August. Somebody had to finish off a press release, so they went with, as the voice of the elder millennial, she brings back her familiar physical, fast-paced style peppered with characters, animals, and insights. From stripper heels to gorilla wives to a lesson for Gen Z, this brand new hour is her best work yet. Is it? Because you didn't tape it yet. Maybe it's not. Could we tape it before we declare it her best work yet? Kumail Nanjiani will give the keynote address at the senior convocation at Cornell. This coming up on May 23rd. Some press person got involved because Kumail is credited as actor, comedian, producer, and Oscar-nominated screenwriter who has starred in Marvel Studios' Eternals and in the Hulu miniseries Welcome to Chippendales. He's also a comedian. I guess one of the students, who is the chair of the committee, said, as a committee, we shortlisted values that we were looking for in a speaker: wholesome, empathetic, resilient, dynamic, and trailblazing. Kumail was one of a few dozen names we had flagged. Guess the price was right. Festivals are off the board for a little bit, although if you're in Dubai, Amir Zar has a show, and I like this title. It's called Borderline Funny, India versus Pakistan. A unique show that will bring together comics from India and Pakistan on one stage for a hilarious stand-up comedy, improv, and roast. That is a clever idea for the show. You'll find that at the Roxy Cinemas at the Dubai Hills Mall. And I get to close that tab now. Getting my browser back here. Channel 4 in the UK has postponed making another series of The Windsors. That is a show that makes fun of the British royal family. Now, if you like things that make fun of the British royal family, be sure to check out Palace Intrigue. That is a podcast. I'm the writer on it. And, the Kate Middleton thing is over, and everybody's back to making fun of Harry and Meghan. Meghan has a new jam out, and that is being brutalized by the tabloids, and we've been making fun of it. So that's Palace Intrigue, wherever you get your shows. But Channel 4's The Windsors on hold because of the King's health and Kate's health. They had announced a fourth series alongside a feature-length special to mark King Charles' coronation. The new series would have focused on the younger generations with their majesties away on tour. Part of the complication there is the actress who played Queen Camilla has passed away. They had talked about possibly recasting the role. The sitcom has run for 21 episodes, including 3 specials, but like I said, on hold for now. British comedian Joe Lycett has revealed that he has planted 4 fake stories in the British media. He made them up, but they were picked up and covered by UK newspapers and TV. The stories are: a footballer, soccer player, suffering with a bruise in the shape of Prince Harry; a statue of H from UK pop group Steps being erected in his Welsh hometown; research showing that men from Birmingham, which happens to be Joe Lycett's hometown, are the largest endowed in the UK; and a story about graffiti artist Banksy creating a mural of Dorothy from The Wizard of Oz. Last year, he shredded what appeared to be 10,000 pounds in a wood chipper in protest of David Beckham's ambassador role at the Football World Cup. That's some silly fun for you. Oh, my voice is giving out. I didn't bring down anything to drink. By the way, that reminds me. I was at the National Donuts chain, and I saw Evil Bill Engvall. I had wondered what had been happening to Evil Bill Engvall. I hadn't seen him in like a month or so. He's back, and he's grown out his beard. But now he doesn't look as evil. Now he just looks like Bill Engvall with a full beard. You got to have the goatee to do the evil thing. Anyway, I digress. That's your comedy news for today. See you tomorrow.